Hello and welcome to another video with Gamers Class, guys. Shizzy Dota here, and today, guys, I'm bringing you another mindset video on how to come back into hard games. Now, we all go through these games, right? We all have hard, hopeless, griefing games. It's very hard to come back, but you know you can if you do the right moves. And a lot of us think, what was the right move to come back into this game? And that's what we're going to be discussing in this video. So let's get right into it, guys. So
if you like this kind of content, go to gamersguys.com. For just $10 a month, get your replays analyzed, watch masterclasses with pro players, join weekly coaching sessions, win prizes, and more with our Supreme Dota 2 membership.
the first thing that is very important, guys, it is very, very important to understand to come back into a hard game is that you cannot think normally. So when you're playing normally, what are you thinking? You're thinking, I want to farm a lane. I want to solo kill someone, or maybe ask a support and, get some help and kill people. But when you're losing a game and the enemy team is far ahead, and when I mean far ahead, it means like they're 5k gold ahead, 10k gold ahead, they have more towers than you, they have more items than you, they have better heroes than you. This is where you have to start thinking out of the box. It is very, very important, guys, that you think about out of the box, and you also understand what the enemy team is thinking, right? They're going through the same emotions and feelings like you are, right? So there's not a single Dota player right now, I believe, who just wakes up to play one game of Dota. It's very, very rare. Most of the people want to play 4 or 5 games a day so they can increase their MMR, right? Especially in the higher ranks. This happens in the lower ranks as well, but in the higher ranks, there's not a single player who wakes up and says, oh, I'm just going to win one game and I'm going to shut my PC. That doesn't happen. And why I'm saying this is because you can abuse this. So let's say the enemy mid laner that you're laning, or any given lane actually. I'm just giving you an example of the mid lane. So the mid laner is owning, he's 10-0. What is he thinking, guys? He's thinking, oh, this game is so easy. I've already won this game. And he's already started to think about the next game, right? He's already thinking about, how fast he can end this, and so he can move on to the next game. He's getting impatient, and you will see it. You will see it in his gameplay that he is getting impatient. He will overcommit. He will get cocky, and that is something that you want to abuse. You want your team to smoke and kill this guy who's getting cocky. And I assure you that when someone is 10-0, unless he is a professional player, even professional players get cocky and they overcommit. But pub players, right, especially in the lower brackets, they get really cocky. And I've personally experienced this, right? And they will throw. So what you have to do is to come back into a hard game, you always have to be thinking about winning until the throne is down. You have to be thinking non-stop about winning, okay? And you gotta do things that are out of the box. You also have to buy items that are out of the box. If you guys remember, Sumail won a game buying Blade Mill against a Divine Sniper. The game was completely hopeless. Sumail bought a Blade Mill and they actually came back into that game out of nowhere. Sumail single-handedly came back into that game, right? It was a hard game for him. They were getting dumpstered by no one sniper, but that one Blade Mill, which only costs like 2,000 or something gold, changed the entire game. Okay, so you have to think out of the box. If there's a Wind Ranger who is snowballing you, what does a normal player do? He's gonna buy Ghost Scepter, he's gonna buy Yules, he's gonna buy Force Staff to save himself, maybe a Shadow Blade, maybe a Glimmer Cape, something like that. But what would a smart person do to be out of the box? He will buy a Blade Mill. As soon as the Wind Ranger starts popping his ultimate on you, just pop your Blade Mill, and the Wind Ranger will die. So there's a lot of things that you can do as long as your mind and your brain is ready to commit on these things. If you give up in a hard game, it's already over. It's already over. If you start blaming your teammates, it's already over. You have to think out of the box, and you have to do things that you won't normally do and the enemy team won't expect as well. And the most important thing I would say, which is the second thing, is you want to get into your enemy's head. You have to think like them. So think about it like this. What would you be thinking if you were 10-0? You would be thinking, oh, I'm owning so hard, I'm feeling great, I want to kill more people, I want to get that rush of getting more kills, I want to end this game faster so I can go to the next game. And you can abuse this. If you know that the enemy is impatient, right? If you know the enemy is impatient, You can abuse it in a way where you're delaying the game, and they will get frustrated and they will end up throwing. Believe me, this happens. Okay, what you can do is you can start split pushing. If you're split pushing, the enemy cannot end as soon as possible. You can start split pushing, they will get impatient, and eventually they will start throwing. The players who are owning you and they're ahead of you, they're actually looking down on you. If you watch True Sight, you will see that a lot of Chinese players, even at the highest stage, look down on their enemies. They're trash talking the enemies. There was a mid player, Somnus. He was actually looking down on Thompson. He was solo killing Thompson's Invoker, and he was saying, "Oh, this guy's so bad. I want to end this game as fast as you can." You can watch the True Sight, and you would know he was really looking down on Thompson. But guess what? Thompson came back into that game. He came back really, really hard. How did he come back? Because he knew what the enemy is thinking. He got into his head, and that's what you want to do in your pubs as well. If you're getting solo killed twice or thrice, the enemy is looking down on you. He's being cocky, and you can use it to your advantage. You can ask a support to come in, or you can make a move that normally the enemy won't expect, right? So, coming back into hard games is not really about Dota moves, guys. I feel like it's more of a mindset thing. If you really, really want to win it that bad, you will actually win, right? You just need to think of things that, again, are out of the box. You need to figure out what your enemy wants, what's going on in his head. If you can figure out what the enemy is thinking, you've already won the game. In any game of Dota, even if you're winning, losing, ahead, behind, if you know what the enemy are thinking and if you know what the enemy is trying to do, you've already won your game. Like, seriously. And if you actually lose a game where you know what the enemy was trying to do or the kind of moves they were making and you still die, or if you still lose the game is on you, right? Because Dota is a strategy game. If you know the enemy strategy, you already know what they want, and you can easily counterplay every move that they make. So try to read your enemy in these hard games. Try to see what they're trying to do. Think about it. Look at if they're buying BKBs. If they're not buying BKBs, they're cocky. If they're not buying the right items, they're getting cocky and they're trying to flex. They're trying to show off, or they're just looking down on you and they think, "Oh, these guys are so noob. I don't need BKBs. I don't care if I get chain stunned. I won't die." But they will die if you try. And if you lead your team, they will actually die and you will come back so fast, it's unreal. Another thing is, when a team is winning, they're very happy. Everyone is boosting each other up and everyone is, spamming well played to each other, nice and this and that on the chat wheel. But as soon as you start to come back, they will start to blame each other. They will actually start to blame each other, and you can also use that to your advantage. There's going to be a lot of tension in their communication, which you can abuse. Another thing that I would like to mention coming back into hard games is split pushing. Probably one of the most important things. You split push until the enemy just throws the game themselves. You piss them off to the point where they just mentally give up. Players are not mentally strong in Dota, right? Imagine, guys, you're 15-0, okay? And you know that the enemy, like, you have 2 more slots than the enemy. And you know if you go high ground, okay, you will win the game, right? So you want to go high ground. You get that Aegis, and now you want to go high ground. But what if there's a smart Terrorblade or Invoker or Anti-Mage who is constantly split pushing and you just cannot kill him? You cannot catch him. You will start to get frustrated. And eventually, after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, once you can't find this rat who is split pushing, you will just go high ground. You will be like, you know what, screw this. I'm going high ground. I want to end this game. And when you go high ground, right, that's where things get messed up, right? That's where the guy who is split pushing will come out on top because he is farming more than you are. Remember, guys, when somebody's pushing, there's like, let's say there's 5 people pushing a tower together, okay? And there's only 4 to 5 creeps coming in. Nobody's farming neutrals, okay? Everyone has gathered up. They're using all their resources to get one tower. Meanwhile, if you're smart and you're split pushing, not only are you farming a full wave, you're farming neutral creeps. You're pushing towers. You're farming neutral creeps, and then you're farming creeps again. Then you're pushing tower. You're putting on pressure on the map. And eventually, you're the one who is farming the most on the map. And eventually, once you have the highest net worth in the game and you have the most items in the game, that's where you can start team fighting. So there's a lot of ways to come back into hard games, guys. You just need to use your mind and not get tilted once you get into this hard game. Have an open mind, think out of the box, get into your enemy's head, and focus on split pushing and making moves that you normally won't. And I assure you, you will actually win games that are hard. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you learned how to come back into hard games from this video. If you have any questions, feel free to tag me on Discord in the Gamers Class channel, and I will gladly answer any questions that you have. Thanks for watching again. Shizzy signing out.